how to create a design with sort of some transparency, a nice colourful gradient like this, and also with a bit of depth in Affinity Photo. And a layer and a new layer, that's the key thing. Go to a gradient tool and quickly add a gradient. What you can do, just click there and you can add some additional stops. So I'm just going to quickly add some pink and maybe some blue and also maybe some green. What you can then do is you can turn it into a pattern layer. So just go over here to the move tool. With the move tool selected, just go to a layer and then down to new pattern layer from selection. So you get this lovely tile effect. But you can go up here to mirror and you can set the mirror on. And you've got this lovely mirrored design. And now what you can do, you can use the Deform filter. And the Deform filter is great because what it does, it distorts the layer and it breaks the layer, which gives you an opportunity to add a bit of sort of depth to the design. So filter and then distort and then go to Deform. So with Deform, and I'm just going to use the similarity. I like similarity. You could use rigid, perfectly reasonable as well. Just depends how it sort of uses the colours, how it selects things. Sometimes it works. But it's just try it out, experiment, and you can simply just distort the design. You can see you can modify this all over the place. But the key thing is, you can see here, I want to add in a bit of transparency, just so it breaks through to the background. So once you've got that, I'm happy with that. Click apply. Now I can go over here and you can see the other gradient. So if I remove the other gradient, you can see the background. That's perfectly reasonable. I can delete that one as well. It doesn't need that. But now I've got this design here. What I can do, I can just go down to the FX, click there, and you can see then I can just go to 3D and you've got some depth, a lovely bit of depth there. And you can change things, tweak things, and also bevel as well. Just add a bit of bevel there. And also you can go for maybe outer shadow, just quick add a shadow there. And then close. So you've got your design there. And of course you can still resize this design. So you can see you can move that around. I'm going to now rasterize this pattern layer. You can see over here it's pattern. Well, I can go to layer and I can go to a rasterize. So the whole thing here will be just turned into a pixel layer. The pattern is gone then at that point. So rasterize. And I don't want to preserve the things. I'm just going to deselect that. That's preserve layer effects, rasterize. So it's all nicely thing. Well, I can now distort that design as well. So I'm just going to go to the move tool and I can go to filters and I can go to distort and deform again. So I can just deform that. And again, I'm going to go with similarity. I just prefer the result. And you can then distort the design all kinds of ways. And then you can see you've still got even more sort of transparency now. So you can really go for some very unusual designs that way. You can turn it in again to another pattern layer. So you can just go over here to a layer and that has to be selected. That's the key thing. Quite often I end up not selecting it. And then just go to layer and new pattern layer from selection. And again, you can see what happens. It creates a pattern layer. Just going to remove this one now. And I can then resize this design. Just go up here and you can resize. Go up to the mirror in the top left, just set that on. And again, you've got this design which you can manipulate. And of course, you can still add additional effects to it. So you can go down here again and you've got FX there. And you can go to maybe outer shadow and you can add a bit more shadow, maybe 3D again. Just go and add some additional 3D there to give it a bit more depth. And of course, it's a layer. You can also, it's a pattern layer, it doesn't make any difference. You can duplicate it. So a layer and duplicate. So you've got two layers there and you can resize. And you can see then, you can move around and you've got the layer below, you've got the layer above and you can tweak it, modify this, move around. And also what you can also do, you can combine them. So you can select both of these patterns and then go to layer and go to merge selected. It does change slightly, but you can still modify the pattern, even though you've of course lost the ability to manipulate, say like the ones that you can see different designs there. You can't manipulate. So if you don't want to do that and you just want to continue to modify, don't merge them. It's the best thing. But what you can also do, you can always go back to filter again and you've still got the distort and deform. You can still deform it and then go for maybe similarity again and add some additional pins. and still manipulate this design. And you can still see, again, you've got the transparency coming through there, and you can create some very unusual abstract designs simply by that. And you can then resize that. Also, what you can do, of course, again, it's a pattern layer. You can duplicate it. So you can go to layer and you can duplicate. And with that, you can also now rotate it. So maybe go for a design like that. And again, those two can be combined. And then a layer and merge selected, they all become a single pattern. And again, now you can see you've got your design there, and so on and so on. You can build up an amazing amount of complexity with this design, with this feature of pattern layers, deform, etc. The key thing is to get some transparency into the layer. I hope you found this of interest. Bye.